Certainly the 401k has served its purpose, especially for businesses trying to grow their rank and file employees and attract and retain the best talent. It's been a competitive business landscape out there the last few years, and small businesses are often especially challenged with attracting and retaining their best talent. They're often competing with larger corporations that have, let's face it, way more resources at their disposal, throwing benefit packages at top talent, siphoning the best and the brightest away from small businesses that just can't afford to do what the big guys can do. They can't afford to offer recent college graduates top shelf benefit packages, for example. So what's the problem with offering 401ks? Why not offer them to your employees? Let's get into it some. The first problem I see are fees. Fees. For small business owners, the decision to implement a 401k plan is fraught with complexities, potential pitfalls, and according to the Department of Labor, just the fees of only 1% per year can slash the value of your savings in a 401k by 28% over the next 35 years. Now, that's a lot of money to anybody. Roughly a third of your money gone just to fees over your retirement. Second major problem is liquidity. The money contributed to a 401k is locked up in there until retirement with severe penalties for early withdrawal. And that'll all hinder the company's cash flow, but also your employees. If they needed money or if you needed money for a medical emergency, for vehicles or kids' college, what are you going to do? The typical 401k cannot help you there. There are penalties for taking distributions before you're a certain age, and you're required to take money out of those 401ks once you're 72 years old, whether you want to or not. And that kind of brings me to my third problem with 401ks, no control. There's market volatility that poses another substantial risk in your employees' portfolios. When you offer a 401k, it's going to be directly invested in the stock market most of the time, and retirement savings of employees are going to be subject to the whims of market fluctuations. In fact, the tax implications of managing a 401k can be severe. Think about it. What if taxes go up in the future? 401k holders are going to have to foot the bill for the nation's financial woes. Fourth problem, and kind of a bonus problem, if you want to call it, problems a bonus, I guess, is there's a forced participation. Now, lastly, regulations around 401ks, particularly 401 subsection A in the tax code, there's all these rules on minimum participation. It'll limit the business owner's ability to really reward top performers. So the rules, the 401A rules, require that benefits be provided fairly and evenly across all employees, which can prevent offering enhanced benefits to the key salespeople or other critical staff members who might be the ones driving most of the business revenue. So this one-size-fits-all approach of a 401k, honestly, I think it demotivates high performers who feel their contributions are just not being recognized, potentially impacting the business's growth and also the retention of their very best talent. So while offering a 401k can be attractive, it can be normal, it can be the average thing a business owner could offer an employee, I honestly think these four considerations really highlight the dangers that small business owners really have to navigate, but it also could be your opportunity as a small business owner to find a better alternative. So why then, with all these problems, is the 401k the go-to option when the typical oh-so-average business owner is setting up their employee benefits? Well, let me tell you a tale of the financial Frankenstein. Now, there exists a tale, not of flesh and sinew, but of numbers and investments. A tale where the creator has come to rue his creation. This is the story of Ted Benna. No, he's no Dr. Frankenstein, but he is no less a man of intellect and ambition, akin to the famed doctor who dabbled in the mysteries of life, and his monstrous offspring of his labor is known as the 401k. In the year 1981, under the guise of innovation, Benna unearthed a clause within the dense tomes of IRS regulations, a loophole that would allow workers to defer a portion of their wages into retirement accounts untaxed until withdrawal. With the fervor of one who seeks to bestow upon humanity a gift of freedom, he nurtured his idea into existence. But, much like Dr. Frankenstein's ill-fated monster, the 401k grew beyond the bounds of his creator's dreams, transforming into a behemoth that now shadows the lives of millions of American employees. As years passed, Mr. Benna began to see the true nature of his progeny. The 401k, meant to be a beacon of security, instead became a labyrinth of complexity and risk. It cast a long shadow over the retirement industry, with many people finding themselves at the mercy of market tempests that they could neither predict nor control. In the quiet of his later years, Benna, with a voice heavy with regret, has proclaimed his creation a, quote, monster that should be destroyed, end quote. Its very existence, a peril to the unsuspecting masses it was meant to protect. Thus, the 401k persists, a living paradox of human ingenuity and its potential for harm. Benna's lament echoes my own, now as the Creator calls for the destruction, or at least the reformation, of this financial monstrosity. We're left to ponder the nature of what creations might wield a more favorable outcome. And that's where I want to take this episode. This is a big problem. As you can see, it's become a monster, and yet it's the default option for business owners. So thanks to Mary Shelley and Dr. Frankenstein for letting me have a little fun there. But truly, the proof is in the pudding. After decades of testing out the 401k, how's it been doing? It's a grand national experiment. Only since 1981 have we even had a 401k. So how is our nation faring? Well, according to the Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances, the average 401k balance for a 55-year-old approaching retirement, guys, these are folks that are not just starting their career, these are 55-year-olds. The average 401k balance for a 55-year-old is only $160,000. Now, if you think that sounds good, oh wow, 160 grand, wow. Think again. That'll generate about $300 a month when that retiree starts to draw on his 401k. Now, that's not enough money for groceries, let alone healthcare, heating, transportation, or other necessities. Meanwhile, most pre-retirees have little or no safe and liquid savings since it's all tied up in their retirement accounts. So it's just a bad system. It's a bad product, the 401k. So how can a business owner, like you, if you're listening to this, attract the best talent and give their employees something that's really worth owning, that'll keep the employees around for years to come? Now, businesses are often faced with the dilemma of choosing the right benefits to offer their employees. The traditional options like the 401k have been the staple for decades, but as I mentioned earlier, they come with their host of issues that can be particularly burdensome, especially for small businesses. So an emerging alternative that offers, I think, significant advantages is the bank on yourself method. It uses high cash value, dividend-paying whole life insurance policies. So I want to explain a little bit about why bank on yourself might be a superior choice for business owners looking to benefit both themselves and their employees. Firstly, the bank on yourself method sidesteps all the notorious volatility of the stock market that plagues 401ks. So unlike 401ks where the value can fluctuate dramatically with market conditions, bank on yourself designed policies guarantee growth in the policy every single year. The cash value in the policies increase each year by a guaranteed amount, supplemented by potential dividends, providing a predictable and stable growth path both for the business owner, if the business owner owns one of these, and also for the employees. The stability means peace of mind, knowing that the retirement savings are not going to be subject to the whims of economic downturns. Another substantial benefit is the liquidity offered by bank on yourself policies. Now, with 401ks, funds are generally locked in until retirement age. You can't touch them. With early withdrawals and penalties and taxes on anything you try to grab out before you are a certain age. But bank on yourself policies, in contrast, allow policyholders to borrow against their cash value or withdraw at any time for any reason without penalties or taxes associated with 401k withdrawals. Now, I think this feature is going to be invaluable for business owners who might need to access funds for a business expansion or emergency expenses, or to reward exceptional employees without dipping into company cash reserves. It also provides employees, if they are the owner, with financial flexibility, which allows them to use their cash value for major life events without derailing their retirement plans. Now, the fee structure of Bank on Yourself versus 401k plans is another area where I think it shines. 401k plans come with a myriad of hidden fees and costs for administration, management, transaction fees. All this erodes the employee nest egg. But Bank on Yourself designed policies have transparent insurance costs and no fees. Now, this means there are, of course, insurance costs, but there are no fees. This means that you can grow your cash a lot more efficiently and not have it riddled with costs and fees. And these insurance expenses are going to be far less than the fees you'll end up paying inside a 401k. If you want to hear more about that, go back to episode 36, where we go into detail and provide even charts in the show notes on exactly what fees versus costs look like between 401ks and life insurance. Over time, the main point here is the result can be a much more cost-effective retirement strategy, again, both for the business and its employees. Next, tax advantages are also a lot more favorable with Bank on Yourself. While the 401k contributions offer tax deferral, the eventual withdrawal and retirement could be taxed from the 401k at potentially much higher rates, especially if tax laws change unfavorably. Now, Bank on Yourself, on the other hand, provides tax-free access to funds through policy loans, which do not technically count as taxable income under the IRS tax law. This aspect not only helps in managing retirement income, but also in estate planning, since the death benefit can also be passed to beneficiaries without any income tax implications. Finally, the Bank on Yourself designed policies eliminate restrictive rules associated with 401k plans. For example, the need for uniform contributions across employees. So this means that you don't have to worry about the 401a rules, which can limit how much a business owner rewards his or her top performers. So by implementing Bank on Yourself policies, each employee will have a direct relationship with his or her benefit. A business owner can tailor the benefits more directly to the needs and achievements of individual employees, fostering, I think, a lot more motivated and even loyal workforce. So imagine if Sarah, your best sales gal, does a really good job this year, you can bonus her into her whole life policy an extra 10 grand or something. You don't have to do that with Sam or Susie or Johnny down the aisle there. So remember, where you put your money really matters here. Where you put your money makes it act differently. It also treats you differently, which causes you to feel differently about your financial situation.